There comes a point in life when the constant chase for money just drains your soul. A lot of people believe getting rich takes luck, connections, or some secret formula. But the truth, hidden right in plain sight, is that the greatest fortunes ever built came from something way simpler: consistency, emotional control, and habits so powerful they almost feel unfair. And because they're so obvious, hardly anyone follows them. The shocker? The story that turned an ordinary young man into the richest person of all time had nothing to do with luck or sudden genius. It was about small, stubbornly repeated choices. Real entrepreneurship doesn't start in your wallet. It starts in your mind. If any area of your life feels stuck right now, there's a clear reason. Your mind hasn't learned to switch into the right mode. That's where everything shifts. Because once you uncover the principles behind that extraordinary journey, you realize success doesn't belong to the chosen ones. It belongs to those who learn to think, act, and grow like someone building wealth from the inside out. And the most incredible thing? These principles still work today with the same force as ever. A childhood shaped by extreme simplicity usually gives you a different lens on life. From an early age, every coin carried a silent lesson about responsibility and survival. While most kids played, one curious mind watched how money moved, trying to crack its hidden code. A small notebook became a constant companion, tracking every gain and expense. The first sign of consistency and emotional discipline that would one day lead to incredible success. That childhood habit, innocent as it seemed, worked like early training and discipline. Every note strengthened the idea that real entrepreneurship grows from attention to detail and the ability to organize chaos before it hits. Confidence starts blooming the moment we realize small choices can shape entire destinies. Motivational quotes weren't even a thing yet, but life was already teaching one lesson after another. In truth, that simple act of tracking every cent hit a much deeper lesson. Money's just a reflection. The real value lies in habits, consistency, and the way your mind spots opportunities others overlook. That mindset, born from necessity, became the first step toward a much deeper understanding of wealth, one that would soon unfold. Most people think wealth begins when your wallet fills up, but life usually proves otherwise. Money shows up as a side effect, an echo of your daily decisions. When the mind learns discipline, emotional balance, and consistency, results just fall into place. True entrepreneurship starts inside, with the mindset to find value where others see none, and that perception can turn any situation around, even the toughest ones. The real turning point happens when you realize wealth depends more on habits than on luck. Strong values, conscious choices, and solid confidence create the foundation for lasting prosperity. You can binge on motivational quotes all day, but nothing changes until your mindset aligns. Everything shifts once your routine syncs with your purpose. Every action becomes a seed for future success. Opportunities pop up naturally when the mind finally finds its rhythm. Once you grasp this, a powerful truth emerges. Money doesn't shape your identity, it simply reveals it. If your inner world's out of balance, any gain slips away. But when internal consistency is there, money flows naturally, without panic, shortcuts, or burnout. That mindset becomes the foundation for something even deeper, looking within with total clarity. Building a strong mind starts when your routine stops feeling like a chore and turns into a tool. A well-structured schedule full of small rituals works like a map for those chasing consistency and real results. Daily and weekly reflections help you spot patterns, fix mistakes, and refine emotional control. Entrepreneurship without self-reflection is like sailing blind. With it, every move becomes more strategic. That habit of self-observation turns even mistakes into allies. Every note, every honest insight strengthens discipline and confidence, like discovering a secret manual for continuous growth. Motivational quotes inspire, sure, but what really shapes behavior is the routine of evaluating your own actions. The mind learns to separate noise from priority, and that changes everything. Over time, this internal fine-tuning brings powerful clarity. You start knowing when to push, when to pause, and when to pivot, without drama or doubt. Big decisions feel lighter, more natural. But this mental refinement opens the door to something deeper: purpose, and the impact every decision leaves behind. When life's driven only by accumulation, something's always missing. The game changes once you realize true prosperity comes from balance, between receiving and giving, Setting aside part of your income to help others builds moral consistency just as vital as any business skill. That simple act deepens purpose and reinforces self-trust rooted in values, not just financial success. Donating also trains emotional discipline. Letting go of part of what you've earned takes control, long-term vision, and faith in your own growth. Giving and receiving sustain an energy flow that fuels entrepreneurship naturally. Motivation turns real when your actions match your beliefs. With time, you notice that money acts like a river. When it flows, it renews. When it stagnates, it weakens. That understanding transforms your entire relationship with wealth. Each gain becomes an opportunity for impact, and this elevated mindset opens space for better decisions. Calm, rational, and strategic. Making decisions under pressure separates those who just react from those who create lasting success. With emotional control, entrepreneurship stops being chaos and becomes strategy. Knowing how to pause, breathe, and act at the right moment changes everything. The discipline to resist impulse and stay consistent builds a rock-solid foundation for real opportunities. A calm mind spots what others miss. Motivational quotes can help when things get rough, but what sustains wise choices is the habit of thinking before acting. Confidence grows naturally when you trust your own judgment instead of outside pressure. And each right call reinforces that inner loop. The greater the emotional control, the clearer the link between choices and results. Success stops depending on luck. It becomes predictable. That clarity then allows for something bigger, turning problems into innovation. When your mind starts seeing beyond the obvious, even leftovers become opportunity. Efficiency is born from noticing waste, streamlining processes, and transforming them into results. In business, that sharp eye is gold. The discipline to focus on what matters while cutting distractions builds unstoppable momentum. And from that focus, creativity blooms. Innovation isn't just futuristic tech. It's the art of seeing potential in every detail. Emotional control helps you stay grounded while chasing efficiency. Motivation gives you a push, but real transformation starts when the mind learns to simplify. Simplicity opens the door for creativity, and creativity drives progress. Efficiency has its own magic. It reduces effort, amplifies impact, and frees space for smarter decisions. When that becomes habit, success almost feels inevitable. Money just follows along naturally. But halfway through this process, a bigger challenge shows up: dealing with people. Managing people is one of entrepreneurship's toughest skills. Finding the right talent, rewarding merit, and cutting what doesn't work takes discipline, consistency, and emotional intelligence. When every person's seen as part of the whole, results align naturally. Balanced meritocracy builds confidence and fuels collective growth. The key is to observe more than you speak. The right people prove their worth through action, while weak links expose themselves. Motivational quotes can boost morale, but what truly transforms teams is clear expectations and consistent decision-making. When each role's filled with the right person, the workflow clicks, and innovation takes off. Good leadership also means knowing limits, what to keep, what to fix, and what to cut, without hesitation but with fairness. That clarity keeps the focus sharp. Once that foundation stands firm, it becomes easier to balance ambition with well-being, a vital step where health and prosperity start walking hand in hand. Unlimited ambition might get fast results short-term, but it costs you big over time. Health is the real fuel of entrepreneurship. Without energy, focus, and well-being, discipline collapses. Once the body starts running low, even the best strategy runs on fumes. Understanding this link is a true mark of consistency and control. Many ignore this balance, thinking grind harder equals strength. In truth, emotional and physical burnout kills results. Confidence fades, discipline breaks, and no quote can fix exhaustion. Rest, nutrition, and movement aren't weakness. They're smart strategy. A healthy mind makes better calls, and better calls build long-term wealth. And the cool thing? When you give health space, everything else flows better. Creativity spikes, productivity rises, and money becomes the side effect, not the chase. That balance builds a foundation for even greater ambitions, leading to reflections on impact and legacy. Over time, the meaning of wealth evolves. Money stops being just a personal victory. It starts carrying a deeper purpose. Investing in education, research, and social projects brings a sense of prosperity beyond numbers. True greatness begins when your impact outlives you. This conscious movement blends entrepreneurship, consistency, and purpose into something remarkable. Philanthropy becomes a natural extension of lifelong values. Once habits, discipline, and emotional balance are solid, giving back feels like the next logical step. Motivation talks inspire, but actions transform. Each contribution plants a more mature sense of confidence, as if you finally understand that real wealth grows roots beyond time. Legacy then becomes a way to immortalize choices. Universities, research centers, and social projects carry the mark of those who dared to think big and act responsibly. That deep awareness of impact invites one last reflection, the one that connects everything you've built so far. True prosperity doesn't come from what you pile up, but from who you become along the way. Money just mirrors what's already aligned inside. Discipline, consistency, emotional balance, and solid values. When the mind gets that, entrepreneurship stops feeling like a race and turns into a conscious path. You start seeing the game from a whole new angle few people ever reach. Real wealth is born when your habits, choices, and actions start talking to each other. Confidence stops being a speech. It becomes your natural state. Motivation still helps, but your main fuel becomes internal clarity. With a strong mindset, every outer result becomes a simple reflection. Money doesn't create character, purpose, or vision. It only amplifies them. Every achievement mirrors what's already been built inside. That realization opens the door to a deeper truth, a truth that ties everything together and sparks real transformation. At the end of the day, every principle points to one direction. Prosperity is built daily, not by chance. Money follows those who live with discipline, clarity, and consistency. So here's the real question. What's holding back your breakthrough? The difference between people who rise and people who stall isn't talent. It's courage to act on what they know. So, what's it gonna be from here? Keep repeating old habits or finally take charge, strengthen your emotional control, and use these principles to create real results? Nothing changes until you decide to. And once you do, everything shifts. Here's the challenge. Which of these principles are you putting into action first? Drop a comment. Put those intentions out into the universe. And to keep learning how to build wealth from the inside out, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. The journey's just getting started, and the future always rewards those who choose to grow now.